We are about to explore a powerful theme, the incredible power of not caring. Often, we worry too much about things that don't deserve our attention, and this can negatively impact us. Let's discover how letting go of caring about what doesn't matter can bring more happiness and tranquility into our lives. Before we dive into this topic, remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any valuable content we're sharing. Let's go. 1. A writer facing creative block and finding inspiration. Imagine a writer who always had fantastic ideas for their texts. Words flowed easily from their mind to the paper, and their readers loved what they wrote. But one day, something terrible happened. They got stuck. They couldn't come up with good ideas anymore. It was as if their mind had closed off. They tried everything to have ideas again. They looked everywhere, read many books, and even searched the internet. But nothing worked, and it made them panic. They thought they had exhausted all their good ideas and couldn't write anymore. Then, something unexpected happened. They decided to stop trying so hard. Instead of obsessing over having ideas, they simply relaxed and focused on other aspects of life. And then, when they least expected it, a brilliant idea came to their mind while they were just taking a walk in the forest, not worrying about anything. They realized that paradoxically, when they stopped trying so intensely, ideas came back naturally. They wanted to be productive, but trying too hard was hindering them. It was only when they relaxed and stopped putting so much pressure on themselves that they could write again. This story teaches us something important. Sometimes, when we push too hard, things don't work out. Sometimes, it's when we stop caring so much that good things happen. It makes us wonder, do results sometimes come when we stop caring so much? 2. The law of reverse effort. The law of reverse effort is like a trick life plays on us sometimes. It says that when we are trying too hard, sometimes we get less of what we want. It's as if our extra efforts hinder us instead of helping. Let's use an example to understand better. Imagine you're trying to catch a butterfly with a net. The more you get agitated and exert yourself, the farther the butterfly flies away. However, when you relax and move calmly, the butterfly comes closer and it's easier to catch. This law of reverse effort also applies to everyday life. For instance, when we are too concerned about impressing someone, we often end up doing the opposite and not impressing as much as we'd like. The idea is that sometimes, when we don't try too hard and relax a bit, things end up working out better. It doesn't mean we shouldn't make an effort, but we need to find a balance between effort and serenity. So, in summary, the law of reverse effort teaches us that paradoxically, when we try with less effort, we can achieve better results in various life situations. It's as if sometimes the secret lies in relaxing a bit instead of trying too hard. 3. The disadvantages of trying too hard. Once upon a time, there was a merchant who wanted to impress everyone with his wealth. He had a big house and many expensive things. He always told everyone how rich he was. One day, he heard about a very wise sage in town and decided to invite him to his house. The merchant was excited to show the sage all his expensive possessions. He thought the sage would praise him and tell him how incredible he was for having so much wealth. When the sage arrived, the merchant began to show him his house and all his expensive belongings. But the sage didn't seem impressed. He looked around calmly and didn't say much. This left the merchant confused and a bit sad. He was expecting compliments and recognition. Finally, the sage said something that made the merchant think. He said, "Why are you trying so hard to impress me?" Sometimes, when we try to shine brighter than others, we dim our own light. We don't need to show off all the time how rich or successful we are. A person's true value lies in how they treat others and in their humility. This story teaches us that sometimes, when we try too hard to show others how amazing we are, we can come across as arrogant and push people away. The sage reminds us that true value is in being authentic and kind, and we don't need to try too hard to impress others. It's important to be ourselves and treat others with respect and humility. For how excessive effort can harm emotional well-being and performance. Imagine you're preparing for an important exam. You know you need to do well, so you study hard day and night. You constantly worry about the outcome and feel immense pressure to succeed. In this process, you're putting in excessive effort. You're trying so hard that you're becoming increasingly tense and stressed. Instead of feeling confident, you start doubting yourself and experiencing anxiety. When the exam finally arrives, you're so nervous that you make mistakes you wouldn't normally make. You feel frustrated and disappointed in yourself. This is an example of how excessive effort can harm our emotional well-being and performance. When we push ourselves too hard, we can become overwhelmed by stress and anxiety, which can prevent us from performing at our best. It's important to remember that balance is essential. It's good to make an effort, but it's also important to find moments to relax and relieve stress. When we are too tense and worried, our performance can suffer, and our emotional health as well. So, the lesson here is that effort is good, but overexertion can have negative effects on our mind and body. Finding a healthy balance between hard work and self-care is crucial for maintaining our emotional well-being and achieving the best performance in our activities. 5. How caring too much about outcomes can hinder success. Imagine you're playing a soccer game, and you have the opportunity to score an important goal for your team. You care so much about making the goal that you start getting nervous. You think about what people will say if you miss the goal, and this only adds to the pressure. When you kick the ball, your nervousness causes you to miss the target, and you lose the chance to score. You become very upset with yourself because you cared so much about making the goal that it got in the way. If you had been more relaxed and focused on the game itself, you might have had a better chance of scoring. This situation shows us how caring too much about outcomes can hinder success. When we put too much pressure on ourselves to achieve a specific result, we often become nervous and make mistakes we wouldn't typically make. Therefore, the lesson here is that it's good to have goals and objectives, but we shouldn't care too much about the outcomes. It's essential to do our best, focus on the process, and be present in the moment, rather than worrying excessively about what will happen in the end. Sometimes, when we relax a bit and stop caring too much about the results, we can achieve success more smoothly and effectively. After hearing these important lessons about how excessive effort can affect our emotional well-being and how caring too much about outcomes can hinder success, I would like to know, what have you learned from these stories? Share your reflections in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content like this.